So, hello and welcome along to another edition of Isolation Interviews for Hospital Radio Reading and for my YouTube channel. And I'm super excited to welcome back a fantastic guest who's been on before, but she's back, the fantastic Emerald Chan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really good. I mean, the last time, for anyone who doesn't know, the last time we had you on, it was 2 years ago. It was as the show was coming to an end back in 22. Obviously, a lot's changed since then. We had also Candice, your on-screen mother, was on with us as well. So, how have the last couple of years been for you? It's been quite mad, I imagine.
Yeah, it was a crazy time. Sorry. It was a crazy time having the show end for almost half a year and then woo, we're back. So that was nuts. I just basically finished school and hoped for the best. And then I got the call and I was like, oh, this is great. Perfect. And then we went back and yeah, it's just been a dream being back, honestly. So
I imagine it must be strange when you're brought into a show as a new character. You're kind of getting your feet, sort of in, settled and everything, to then suddenly find out the show's ending. That must have been quite a hard blow because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to be here for a while, and suddenly that's all taken away from you. So how did you kind of cope with that?
it was definitely a weird thing. Like when I got brought in, I was like, okay, cool, this is going to be a couple months. And then they were like, we're actually going to keep you on for a while. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I got hurt, it got axed, and I was just, I feel like it didn't mean as much to me because I was like, I haven't been here for as long as everyone else. Like, I'm going to let them have all their moments because this show means a lot more to them what it meant to me. And I was like, I'm just grateful for the experience. And then when I got the call back, I was like, this is serious now. Like, wow, I'm going to have more stuff and more time to grow the character of Sadie. So, yeah.
And I imagine as well, when you first found out that the show was coming back, was there ever a thought of, will they ask you back? Or was it always, I mean, what was your thought process between finding out the show was coming back and actually being asked back yourself?
I mean, I really hoped I would, like everyone else, but I was kind of like, if they're going to drop anyone, it's going to be me and my family because we're the newcomers. They're like, yeah, we're going to just get rid of them, whatever. They didn't mean much. So it was really exciting to get that call and be like, we want you back. And I was like, ah. So yeah, but I really didn't think for a while they were going to ask me back. So yeah.
I mean, the great thing with the Rodwells is the audience love them as a family. I mean, do you get the love that comes from the audience? Do you kind of feel that the characters are loved as much as they are?
For sure. And definitely more this time round. Like, I know everyone was a bit like, we don't care about these people, like, whatever. And now coming back, it's like, okay, they're actually kind of cool characters. Like, they've got some stuff and they've got some potential there. So I definitely feel it. And I definitely feel the support behind the whole show and especially Sadie coming back and being more grown up as well.
I mean, you've had some great storylines since the show's come back, and I mean, one of the storylines that has come about is obviously the romance between Sadie and Byron. When you were told about that romance, did it make sense to you, or were you? What was your thought process when they paired the two together?
We were both like, how is this going to work? This just seems so silly and just so out there because I went around work and I was like, oh, I want a storyline, and then I heard whispers and they were like, yeah, okay, we're going to give Sadie a boyfriend. And I was like, okay, that's new. Like, I wonder who it's going to be. And then they go, yeah, it's going to be Byron. I was like, hang on a minute. What's the go with that? But then it kind of just it's how it is now. So it works and it's good. So yeah.
And also, I think the thing that I thought was really great was the fact that it was that Sadie was very open with the fact that she hadn't been with anyone before, and actually, I think that was quite a good message to put out there that you don't need to feel like you have to, be in a relationship or do anything before you're ready, which I thought was a great message to put out there. So, did you have any kind of input in that?
I didn't really kind of just came about and I was like, this is great. This is perfect. I love this storyline and how it's got a message behind it. It's not just like, okay, Sadie and Myron get together, whatever. It's got a real nice tone to it and it was so much fun just saying the word like sex over and over and over again in every scene. It was great. And yeah, I had a lot of fun filming all that.
And I imagine the other great thing as well is getting to work a bit closer with someone who you get on with so well. Must be a joy because, I imagine like Alan Fletcher and Jackie Woodburn have that as well, where, they get to work with their best friend in a sense. So that must be quite good fun to get to do more with him, sort of through this storyline.
Yeah, and our paths really never crossed in storyline wise. Like it was just he lived in the share house, I lived at home. I was best friends with Holly and Mac. And so yeah, it's really been good. And I think it's also brought everyone in the share house really close together. Our little relationship. And yeah, it's been great fun. It's been so great.
And now, I mean, I had a chat recently with Lucinda, who obviously plays Holly, and both you and her are kind of like honorary members of the share house. You don't actually live there. Would you love to see Sadie and even Holly eventually actually move into the share house?
For sure. Like that's the dream one day. All of us to live there together. But we just gotta wait and see. Because they love to keep us at home for as long as they can. So yeah.
And also, when you have parents like, Andrew and Wendy, I mean, they seem like such great. I can imagine they're such great parents to have on the show, but at the same time, they do have their embarrassing moments. And I know there was the scene where Sadie walks in on them doing that arty stuff. So is it quite fun when you get to do those on the show, those sorts of scenes?
Yeah, I love working with them. They're just the best. And those scenes really, we just have a giggle. It's a lot of fun and it's just some Rodwell shenanigans, really. And they're just, I love them. Like, I honestly couldn't ask for better parents on the show. And they've really just like taken me under their wing and they're just like, okay, you're like ours now. It's so good.
So, what would you say is the best bit of advice you've been given by either one of your fellow actors or someone who works behind the scenes? What's the best bit of advice you've had since working on Neighbours?
Um, I heard this the other day. I think Xavier said it to someone else, but I was like, that's really good. Like, I really like this. It's if you're not sure about something, you either give it 200% and like really go into it, or you throw it away and you're like, whatever. And I'm like, that's so good for when you're stuck in this middle ground and maybe even awkward line and you're like, I would never say this in real life. And it's either just give it everything you got or just chuck it to the side. And ever since I heard that, I was like, I'm going to start doing that. That's really good. And it's really helped me like truly just get over those like little bumps in the road. So yeah.
And I mean, the great thing as well with the show coming back and where it's at is we got that 2 year time jump. So I imagine it was quite good because for you, it got your character obviously matured and grew up. Means you can do more, I imagine, on the show compared to before because you're a bit limited when you're a younger actor as to what you can actually do.
Yeah, for sure. And I do miss the school stuff. Filming school scenes was so much fun. But it is nice having just different opportunities and like Sadie now can get a job and she can have a boyfriend and she can do this and she can do that. So it's really nice having such a broader range and it's fun even just thinking of new storylines now just for myself um to possibly maybe pitch and be like this could be realistic because she's older now. So yeah.
And I mean, obviously, one of the characters that we didn't, get back on the show, but I still think she was a great character, was of course Zara, played by Freya, who you, I imagine, got on with her really well. So were you disappointed that she wasn't coming back to the show?
I really was. It was like her and Twali who played Aubrey. Um, I was really sad when they didn't get us back because we were like a little tight three and it was just us and we got to just hang out and do girly things and it was really fun. But they're on their own journeys now and I wish them more than the best. So, but yeah, I definitely miss them sometimes.
And I mean, as well, you get to now be a part of, like we said, the share house and such an amazing group of people. We've already talked a bit about Xavier and Lucinda, but obviously Georgie as well, Shiv. Getting to work with these people, for you, that must be just a true honor and a true joy. I mean, it, those moments behind the scenes, I imagine, must be so much fun. The stuff that we don't get to see.
Yeah, I wish everyone got to see how much fun we truly have and the amount of takes where it's just us bursting out laughing or just like absolutely anything. And working with Shiv and Georgie, they are so incredible and just so inspiring. And I always look up to them because I'm the baby of that group and they're always just absolutely insane in what they do. And it's just so nice to work with truly the best people and we all get along so well. And I couldn't ask for a better like group of friends there.
I mean, one of the storylines that sticks in my head is one where you and Xavier Byron are trying to sneak Trevor into the hospital when Haz is in hospital. What is Trevor like to work with? Bodhi, I believe his name is in real life. What's he like to work with?
You either love him or hate him. When he first started, I was like, let's get rid of the dog. He wants to jump in the pool. He just doesn't want to listen. And it's like, okay, we're just gonna sit, wait, relax till he's ready. But he's actually gotten better. Like I did a scene with him the other day and he did great. And I was like, wow, someone's come a long way from where we started. But that scene in the hospital in particular, that was so fun to film. And he just was on another level that day. He wanted to get out of the cart. He just wanted to do this. So thank God they like worked their magic to make it look good because we were really worried that it was just gonna be like, oh, no, the scene ended up being really good. I was so happy with it.
I mean, it'd be easier if he was a smaller dog, but he's quite a large dog.
They couldn't get a smaller dog. It was just like, we're gonna give you the biggest dog to work with who's also like a year old. And it's like, great. Perfect.
Now, obviously, talking about Sadie's, jobs that she's done, she's obviously been a nanny recently, but she's also doing a lot with her makeup. Would you love to see kind of like a Donna Friedman, Margot Robbie type storyline where we see her go more into like the kind of makeup and fashion? Would you love to see that as a storyline going forward?
I really would. I mean, I really enjoy doing all the makeup bits and bobs, and I feel like sometimes it's just like the start and the end of it. Like, obviously, because it can't be a whole show of Sadie just doing makeup, but I wish there was just more, like, either she went makeup shopping or just like little bits and bobs and her just like got her stuff out and she's like, you ready? And it's like, you're done. And that's it. So, I mean, it's definitely a good industry to just explore more into. And same with fashion. And I just want to do more stuff of that. Like, it's so fun.
It would also be a great excuse for the show to go elsewhere, to like maybe go abroad and do some filming somewhere else. Is that something you'd love to do?
Yes, I do love doing loc days, like location days. As long as it's warm and as long as we're indoors, because outside I'm not having it. But yeah, just more locations would be great, especially even if we went, I don't know, even just the shops and she got to like just walk around the shops and pick out makeup. That would be so good and just so fun to film.
Now, could you imagine? I asked this question to quite a few of my guests, and I think it's quite an interesting question. If you were to meet Sadie in real life, do you think you would get on? Do you think you'd be friends?
I think we would get on now. Her a couple years ago when she first made her appearance, I don't think we would. But now I think she's definitely more cool, calm, and collected and just kind of got like more sense of self and she knows who she is. So I definitely think I would be friends with her and I think we'd get along great. And I see a lot of me in her, which it screws in my head sometimes. I'm like, this is just too emerald. I gotta fix it for Sadie.
I mean, it's funny because you do get quite a few actors who really have to put makeup on, and that they change themselves a lot to get into character. But I imagine when you look a lot like your character and you don't have to do too much to sort of change your appearance, it must be quite hard to sort of separate the two, I imagine.
Yeah, there has been times where I'm just like, I just sound like me. Like this is weird. Like this is not the character. But then I'm like, I chose to build this character basically around myself. Because we do share a lot of similarities. So yeah, I mean, I love playing her and she's so much fun. And I'm so glad that she's had some more comedic moments throughout the show because I think she really needed that, honestly.
And is there anyone who you haven't really had much of a chance to work with that you would love to do more with going forward? Any of the cast that maybe you feel that there could be a good bond between the characters?
I would probably say Beck, who plays Therese. We don't have much going on together, but she is so funny in real life and she's so great and we get along like a house on fire. So I'd really love to do more scenes with her. And I mean, her character's complete opposite of what she's like, but I think that would be really fun for both of us.
And I mean, obviously going forward, I mean, is there a dream storyline? Is there something that you would love to see Sadie come up against? Maybe like a stunt or just a long running storyline that you think would work well for Sadie?
Well, something that I would love to do is probably like a good classic Holly storyline, either being kidnapped or like, something like that. Because they just look like so much fun to film. So probably something like that. Or just either something to do with mental health. Like I'd love to do a storyline along that realm, for sure. Because it's either you're gonna keep Sadie being the realist and have all these real problems, or she's gonna go the other end and stuff's going to happen to her like that. So somewhere on those ends would be great, to be honest.
I mean, one thing that I've noticed with Sadie is that she obviously not very good at when she's sort of pressured to keep secrets. I mean, obviously we saw the whole stuff with Paul, early doors, and then more recently keeping the secret of Vic's cancer. So, I mean, I think that would be a good way to kind of have her have maybe like a sort of a mental health breakdown or something like that through the pressures or something. But I mean, for you, when you kind of get these sorts of storylines that are kind of quite sort of, Sadie knows a secret and having to keep it. They must be quite nice to be in on those sorts of storylines and kind of be in on the secret, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, Sadie, she just has a big guilt complex. Like, she just can't do it. And I'm a bit like that too. I just have to get it out sometimes, unless it's I got to keep it locked. But yeah, definitely a storyline along that, and they've definitely planted that seed already multiple times throughout the show. So I think that could be good. Like, just all these secrets that she has to keep. She's the wrong person to tell. Just she's got to get them out somehow.
Now, do you think going forward, do you think Sadie and Byron will go the distance? Are you hopeful that they'll stay together, or is there someone else you think she would be better suited to?
I don't know, because originally we got told this was be just a fun little fling, like, just be a couple months, and now we're like, this has been almost a year. Like, what's going on? So I honestly don't know. I mean, if they stayed together, that would be great, and I'd love to see how their relationship like develops and blossoms. But if they break up, I hope it's messy, and I hope like stuff goes down because that would be so fun.
I mean, I was going to say the great thing with Neighbours is since it's come back. I mean, and I've said this to most of the cast that I've spoken to. It just feels like the show is bigger and better. And I mean, for you guys on the show, you must obviously you know kind of how good the show is at the moment. But I mean, the love from the fans must be great. And I mean, what are the sort of things that you get? Fans say to you when they do get a chance to speak to you. What's the kind of the message that they give you?
Definitely that they love the show and they love that it's back. And I feel that too, like couldn't be more grateful. But I definitely got a lot of messages when Sadie had her whole she doesn't want to go to uni stuff. Because I think that's a really big not problem, but like something that a lot of people have to decide between whether to go or not. And there's a lot of pressures around it. And I didn't go, so I was just like, I'm more than happy to do the storyline. So I definitely got a lot of like really heartfelt messages, and I really loved hearing just how many people related to that storyline in particular, because that's something I had to go through and think about not too long ago as well. So yeah, that's something I really was grateful for.
And it's also great as well because we're seeing at the moment Wendy is sort of a mature age student. So it's showing that as well, not just, you know, you have to go to uni young. That's not the case at all. But also, you can wait till later in life and you can kind of take life at your own pace, which I think is a great message for the show to be giving out.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Neighbours, I think breaks every stereotype, to be honest. So it's really nice to see that. And I know Candice is having a ball doing that, like just having her fun storylines. So yeah, it's definitely good to see. And it's definitely good to have those scenes, just me and her, where we just talk about it and it's all the drama's settled and it's all just like, how was uni? It was good. How was work? Good. So yeah, I really do love that for her. And I love that storyline.
And I mean, the other great thing as well was we got to see JJ and the Varga Murphys and the Rodwells have really kind of come together in a great way. Obviously, we found out that JJ is a kind of Rodwell, you could say, really. Obviously, his dad is Felix. So, I mean, because there was a kind of a hint at one point that potentially JJ had a crush on Sadie. So, what was that like to be doing kind of that storyline and were you aware at the point that they were doing those sort of crush storyline, were you aware of the kind of the outcome long term of the storyline?
Not really. It was kind of more just like, this is a weird age gap, even though in reality it's only 2 years, and me and Xavier have, I think, an 8 year age gap. It just felt weird. And it was like, you're a child. Like, this is weird. And then when we found out that it's like, oh, okay, yeah, thank God they didn't go down that route because that would have just been, ugh, too much for me to handle.
But it's, I say, the Varga Murphys have been a great addition to the show as a brand new family. Um, are you hopeful that there'll be more sort of mixing between the Rodwells and the Varga Murphys? Because they do seem like two. I would say at the moment they are two of the sort of most popular character sort of families on the show at the moment. People are just loving them.
Yeah, I love them. They're the best family, other than my own, of course. But they are just a great family, and I do miss the drama of it all because that happened. It felt like it happened so quickly and so long ago, and then it kind of just died down. So I'd love to do some more stuff, whether it's petty and just nonsense or it's something big and crazy. So
Now, I just want to say it's been a pleasure having you back on the show. I mean, there's so much more we could talk about, and I'm hopeful that we will get you back on because I've got some things in the pipeline that I'd like to do. So hopefully we'll get you back on for that. But people need to keep watching Neighbours. It's here in the UK. You can watch it on Amazon Freevee. It's Monday to Thursday, 7 a.m. Nice and early, so you can binge it first thing in the morning, which is what I do. People just need to keep watching it. It's fantastic. And Emerald, it's been an absolute pleasure. Of course, keep safe. And like I said, we will get you back on.
yes, thank you so much. I can't wait to come back on and keep talking.